Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Today we'll be playing some more of the Great Ace Attorney adventures. And last we left off, we started our brand new case number 2. And unfortunately, our dearest and most favoritist friend, Cosmo, is the victim of the case. And we have to find out who exactly it was who committed this heinous crime. And it appears as though it's one of the Russian crewmen. At least the individual who did commit the crime appears to be Russian or speak Russian. And we finally met Herlock Sholmes. He is on board with us and he is gonna, I presume, help us with the investigation. And I don't know if he's gonna lend us a hand in the actual courtroom itself, but I imagine he will, right? Susano's on our side. She's gonna be acting as our assistant. And yeah, we are the prime suspect and we were in the middle of an investigation last we left off, and Herlock Sholmes just suddenly showed up, so let's just jump right in and see what that's all about. Alrighty, so he's right here. Now, I'm wondering, like, should we examine everything else in the crime scene before we talk to him, or should we just talk to him right now? Let's just talk to him right now, see what he has to say, and then we can look at the rest. Now that Herlock Sholmes is in the game, I have to put on a British accent, which I'm not very good at, and I'm not gonna be good at. So that's gonna be interesting. And Renosuke just said, excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh, this is a critical point in my investigation. Okay. So I guess we'll have to examine the rest of the crime scene before we can talk to him. Maybe I should leave him alone. Oh, maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Okay. Oh, never mind. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you guys waiting. I don't know what he said. Ah! He's got cool goggles on, though. What exactly were you doing on Cosmo's desk just now? Just looking at fingerprints and stuff? I don't know. Ooh. What is going on? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry. What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. It is an those are X-ray goggles, Renosuke. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, is he gonna be a horrible detective? Oh no. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? Just reminds me of Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock. You know, actually no, he was right. It reminds me of a Comedy Central parody of Sherlock, where he was just wrong about everything. How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yep, that's all spot on. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Or everything does. Wow. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. What are these breakdance moves, man? What is this? Hip hop? Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? Maybe. Maybe he's right about all of these descriptive characteristics, but he's wrong about the person. Maybe there is a Russian assassin hiding in this room right now. I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Cosmo. Oh no, are you serious? What? And you're plotting a revolution too. Oh, she's so gullible. Oh no. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... That's not good for us that she's this gullible. She knows that. She knows we're not Russian. So what's up with that? Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. So much for Herlock Sholmes helping us out. Jesus. How could you do that? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. Are you serious? And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your mind. But was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Oh, dude, Ryunosuke roasting this man. Roasting the most famous detective. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Huh. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. He took off the goggles. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women around the world. The what? The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same, the inimitable, actual Herlock Sholmes. Wouldn't it be funny if he was like some kind of pretender, some kind of fake, just pretending to be the great Herlock Sholmes? That'd be really funny, but I don't think that's the case. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him once he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Because he just blamed you of being a Russian assassin. Converse. Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see, you're German? Herlock, was it? No, I have no I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rant magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. Rant. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Wow, that must be expensive. Ah yes, here it is again, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you'd take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? So he is the famous detective about whom the books were written. My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson. Yep, he's dead. He needs a new assistant and we're gonna be the one. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy as of late. I don't understand that move he does every time. Why, at this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Yeah, same here. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in a subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all of these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. Yeah, about that. About the whole Russian spy thing, Russian assassin. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the only... Herlock Sholmes. The one and only. What? Cosmo's death. Okay, let's see. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. Yep. When I became anxious about Cosmo this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And their handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid my eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? What were the two facts? Tell me about that. Mr. Sholmes, tell us please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah yes, but first let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Well, we get it, you don't need to boast so much. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. The victim was not Russian, even though the writing on the floor is Russian. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Garderobe. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Yep. Do you really think Cosmo could have left a dang message in Russian? Of course not, he didn't know Russian. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For these young men, Russian. Cosmo was Russian? Was he? I like how we're also confused about that. Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps. Oh, Garderobe. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm the Russian too? I'm Russian too. I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Is there anything different in the photo from now? This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. Looks like he was... the facial expression he has going here is interesting. Maybe he was clenching something with his left hand. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph... yeah, in purple ink. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Конечно, that means certainly. That it says it right there, right? Конечно is certainly. Certainly, if it interests you. Конечно is like, of course. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Okay, your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? You know, that part? Ah yes, the more sordid details, it was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... oh, okay. Yeah, that definitely looks like us. Revolutionary, violent Bolshevik. Bolshevik, that's funny. Bolsheviks were the revolutionaries, and when was it? It was not Stalin. What was his name? God, I'm forgetting. I'm blanking. Not Stalin, of course. He came before Lenin. Was it Lenin? Yeah, I think Lenin was part of the Bolsheviks, right? Violent Bolshevik. I'm trying to see if there's a pun in there. Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday. At last night, the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Cosmo a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Cosmo wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, violent Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Yeah. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. That sounds really dumb, but okay. Ugh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway, which doesn't help our case. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to do interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? I wouldn't be surprised. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article, so you didn't do any deductions, my man. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? Yeah, Brionovsky is really bad at geography, so this Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you, I guess. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby, so you'll act as it. The headline reads, I guess we'll take a look at it later. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may only need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I can hope to read it. Actually, I can read it. Haha. Where is it? Известный прямо... Okay. Пропажа известной прямо... What's being... Okay, so they're... Okay. So somebody's gone missing, right? Brajacha. No. No, what am I reading? Пропажа. Пропажа известной прямо Basrin. That's not an R. It's an R, but Basrini. I don't know what Basrini is, but whoever this person is, she's gone missing. I'm guessing we're not gonna get a closer look at this. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. Oh, shoot, okay. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. Okay. At the bottom it says the tiara is... It's 20,000 rubles. I think that's what it says. Nor can I but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? What does it say on the left? Baleta Novavich. Okay, she's a ballerina. Okay, I guess that the photo on the right side also helps us with that. Okay. I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Yes. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novavich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is of course the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? They're not. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Yeah, we figured that. Man, I'm proud. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? It's probably very... I couldn't tell you right now. Probably, 20,000 rubles isn't that much, I don't think. I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay. I wonder how that's even gonna come into play with this case. It's really strange. Okay, let's look at this article piece as well. What does it say on the left? Well, it's cut off too much. It just mentions Shanghai. Russia via Shanghai, it says on the left at the bottom. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never leave to tell the tale. Every one of us has seen it at this point. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. Okay. It says here a mathematical, like, breakthrough. I don't know, I guess it's not relevant. This is news of a city called St. Petersburg. Alright, nothing much else to see there. Let's look at the crime scene photo. Okay. Yeah, see, that expression is a little sus. Okay. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Okay. What were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Cosmo's desk, weren't you? Cosmo? Oh yes, the victim. Do you notice anything useful? Anything at all? But of course. Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Okay. Diary? We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary, Cosmo was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susano Takedown is. So are we talking to Herlock Sholmes right now in English? Is that what... I guess that's what we are kind of led to assume, right? And not actually Japanese. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, what on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. I mean, he is a very famous detective, so... Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. What the hell? Nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. Huh. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So he hasn't read it yet. Oh wow, he's having a good time here. So what was all that showing off about before then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. What? You were so opposed to reading the diary? Come on. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here is Cosmo-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Okay, so there was a snake. The speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard of that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... Yep. To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Cosmo's diary has been entered into the court record. Speckled Band. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. As if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. What if it's his room? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? Why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer? Oh, these... Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. What? You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. What is happening? Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. Well, he never... Well, did he accuse us directly? I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now. What the okay. What do you mean? What's going on? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Okay. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Huh. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Hmm? You must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Yeah. Jesus. Did she actually break him? After Cosmo-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate. We are technically rolled over. Ugh. As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part, yeah. Ryunosuke and I are the same person. We're thinking the same way. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Cosmo to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and to bring the real culprit to justice. Okay, interesting. That was quite lengthy. I think we're gonna have to stop it here and finish off the investigation of this cabin and the one next door in the next episode. Very, very interesting. I was not expecting Herlock Sholmes to be the way he is. He's just very odd. It's hard to tell if he's just a really good detective and he's kind of being playful and a little bit zany and odd on purpose, right? Or if he's just really bad at being a detective and he just happens to stumble upon answers and that's how he's kind of gotten famous. I really cannot tell right now. He's just really odd, but I like it. I like the way his character is. He's not really taking every case very seriously, right? And this whole Russian revolutionary thing and the ballerina going missing, those are really, I was not expecting that. I'm not even sure how the whole Russian ballerina gone missing thing is gonna come into play with this case, or what the Speckled Band has to do with this. It's just so bizarre. I guess we were shown that the Speckled Band was some kind of snake at the very start in like a cave or whatever, or it was the ship. I don't even know. But I guess maybe the Speckled Band came through the ventilation system. I genuinely don't know what exactly happen and how the Speckled Band is going to come into play. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going on with the cabin next door. Obviously, we're going to have to finish up investigating here and talk to the sailor before we can go next door. But yeah, so far so good. I'm really interested in seeing where this case goes. It's just a bit unfortunate that Cosmo had to be the victim. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.